A lot of weebs are declaring Persona 5R to be one of the best games ever made and one of the best games of the year, one of the best RPGs in the past several years. But like, we really need to stop and like talk about this because this is ridiculous. You cannot say that Persona 5R is one of the best games ever made, one of the best RPGs ever made because it's the same game as Persona 5 with minor changes that change the gameplay. So here's the thing. Either Persona 5R is a massive improvement over Persona 5, which means that Persona 5 itself wasn't all that good, or that Persona 5R should have just been an update to the game, like an expansion. Like this whole $60 thing, it was just downright ridiculous, and I do think that people are giving this game a pass. It's kind of ridiculous to see how PlayStation games, these PlayStation re-releases and remakes and remasters keep getting all these passes, right? Medieval, Ica, Shadow of the Colossus, Final Fantasy 7R, this. I don't even know what else. There are countless examples of these lazy PlayStation re-releases, and yet Resident Evil 3, and yet the audience keeps eating them up and keeps declaring them to be like some of the best titles, not only of the year but ever made. Like how many people declared Resident Evil 2 remake to be one of the best horror games ever made, which is kind of disingenuous because it's it's a remake of a PS1 game. It's just that also came out on N64 like 20 years ago and was actually faithful to the original. It's just I am getting very becoming very disenchanted with this sheer amount of praise and hype that these re-releases get when I think it's indisputable that Nintendo makes the best remakes in the industry. It's so interesting how people will weaponize the Nintendo remake to try and say that like, oh, Nintendo can't come up with new ideas. They're rehashing old content. Their fans are just nostalgic. These games don't age well. They say all this stuff about Nintendo games, but when Sony does it, it's somehow like a masterpiece, right? Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, it's one of the best games ever made. No, I really don't think so. Are you that starved for content where like a Resident Evil 2 remake is one of your favorite games of all time? It's just, it's unreal. They are that starved, by the way, and I do think that's why these people are so defensive of Persona 5R and are like giving it perfect scores and like singing all these praises and trying to prevent it coming to Nintendo consoles. It's because PlayStation gamers don't have anything to play. They have to hype up every little thing that comes out. They have to praise every minor announcement, every tease, every tweet by Neil Druckmann. It's unbelievable. It's pathetic. It's sad. It's unbelievable when you get right down to it. I don't feel as if games like Persona 5R should be held to the standard that they are. If Nintendo, when Nintendo Game Freak, when they re-released Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is basically the same game as Sun and Moon with like additional content, like there was very real fan backlash to that, and we haven't really seen that with Persona fans. Persona fans are just happy that it's not on Nintendo consoles. That's literally it. Like they'll pay for all the expanded re-releases they want, but as long as they don't release it on Nintendo, they're going to be happy. It's just, oof. It is really sad, really pathetic. I think PlayStation fans need to hold their time and their money and their games to a higher standard. They need to understand that Persona 5R did not need to exist.